Incredible rescue. Discover the heartwarming moment a cow was saved from a giant python attack. Sam looked out over the arid expanse of his beloved Texas farm, heart clenching with worry. The soil was dry, and the whispers had grown louder. "Sam can't keep holding on to this old place," they said, judgment lacing their tone. But Sam's heart beat fiercely for more than just land. It was for Pearl, his trusty cow, who had been by his side throughout the years. With her dark eyes and gentle demeanor, she was family, a living memory of laughter-filled summers and warm winter nights all around him. Neighbors clung tightly to the idea that success was measured in profit, and Sam struggled against their skepticism. How could they understand that his life was richer than currency? He wiped his brow, recalling the lessons his father had taught him about resilience. Sometimes it's not about what you have, but what you hold dear. But as fate would have it, trouble crept onto Sam's farm, larger than his worries. A monstrous python had been spotted slithering through the nearby woods, and word spread like wildfire through the town. Whispers turned to loud gossip. What if it comes for that cow? Can Sam even handle it? The words jabbed like a knife, and Sam's stomach sank. One evening, just after sunset, Sam found himself standing between Pearl and the distant rustle of underbrush. His heart raced as the massive shape emerged. Panic gripped him. "Pearl, no," he shouted, heart pounding, adrenaline coursing through his veins as the python advanced with terrifying grace. Time slowed, and the world faded, leaving just him and the threat looming before them. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. Desperation clawed at Sam as he called out for help. Neighbors peered from behind their fences, eyes wide with disbelief. "Let the professionals handle this," one shouted, his cynicism like a poison. Hesitation hung thick in the air, but Sam felt something stir inside, an ember of determination. "Come on, folks," he pleaded. "This is Pearl. She means everything to me." As the python lunged, a flicker of courage ignited. He could either fold under their judgment or rise to the challenge. "Help me save her." To his surprise, a few familiar faces stepped forward. Old Mr. Jenkins, known for his woodwork, joined him, followed by young Anna, who had helped Sam tend to Pearl on countless occasions. The serpent's monstrous form now loomed, a symbol of all the doubts Sam faced. The air crackled with tension. This was more than a battle for a cow, it was a fight for recognition, for the dignity he so fiercely guarded. Just as the python coiled, ready to strike, Sam rallied together those who still believed in him, a group of hearts intertwined by the threads of perseverance. Together, they surged forward, hearts racing and breath held, as shadows of doubt flickered against the flames of camaraderie. In this moment, everything began to shift. Would they stand together and reclaim their spirit, or let the whispers dictate their fate? Sam's fate, intertwined with Pearl's, hung in the balance, leading them all to a confrontation that could redefine the very essence of their community. With the moon spilling silver light across the field, Sam felt a surge of adrenaline course through him. The python was colossal, its scales glinting, menacing in the night. But with Mr. Jenkins and Anna by his side, he wasn't alone anymore. As they stepped forward, the blend of fear and determination filled the air. "Now!" Sam shouted, the word echoing like a battle cry. He dashed toward the giant serpent, using a shovel to distract it. The python's head whipped around, hissing, its forked tongue tasting the air. Sam's heart thundered in his chest, each beat echoing louder than the last. Anna mimicked Sam's actions, brandishing a rake in a show of defiance. "Stay back, Pearl," she called, her voice fierce yet tremulous. Pearl, sensing the danger, backed up against a fence, her eyes wide with fear, but those eyes filled Sam with resolve. In that instant, the python lunged. Sam swung the shovel wildly, hoping to deter the beast. The force of the impact rattled his arms, yet it seemed to barely faze the creature. It was a harbinger of doubt, crashing over him like an avalanche. He felt a momentary thrill of panic. What if they were too late? Focus! Mr. Jenkins yelled, pulling Sam from his spiraling thoughts. The older man moved like a soldier, positioning himself to cover Pearl, showing the strength of his years. Keep it busy. Jenkins gestured for Anna to spread out, creating a narrow triangle of defense around their beloved cow. We need to tire it out. Sam knew what they had to do. They had to outsmart the python. With a nod of understanding, they began to move in a synchronized dance, drawing the snake's attention away from Pearl. It struck toward Anna, but she darted aside, making it miss, and then Sam used the opportunity to shove the shovel down against its side, throwing it off balance. The python hissed with rage, its massive body winding protectively around itself, almost like it was reconsidering its next move. For a brief second, doubt flickered again in Sam's mind. What if they couldn't hold it back? What if this was all for nothing? But then he caught a glimpse of Pearl, her legs trembling yet standing strong, her dark eyes catching the moonlight. Sam remembered the late-night feeds, the warmth of her body next to his as they shared quiet moments together. Stay with us, girl. We've got you. Sam called, his voice steady. He could feel the energy of the group wrap around him like a protective cloak, their collective determination pushing away the shadows of despair. They would save Pearl. With combined courage, they pressed forward. Sam swung his shovel again, this time catching the python more squarely. Anderson pulled a rope from his pocket, ready to try and ensnare the snake. The snake writhed in fury, its muscles coiling and uncoiling in ways that made it terrifyingly unpredictable. But Sam and his small band of allies were no longer just trying to hold time, they were taking action, pushing back against their fears, refusing to back down, and as the creature reared back, hissing again, Sam felt a new strength bubbling inside him, a strength born not just from fear, but from hope and unity. On 3. 1, 2. But before he could finish, the python lunged again, and everything shifted. The world tilted. In that one heartbeat, the outcome remained uncertain. Would they truly save Pearl, or would the night end in tragedy? Just then, as Sam steadied himself to face the creature, a sudden sight caught his eye. What was that glinting in the grass nearby? Sam's breath caught in his throat as he squinted into the darkness. The glint in the grass, was it a reflection from something metallic? His mind raced, pondering what it could be. In the chaos and terror of the night, something so mundane felt surreal. The python, momentarily distracted, shifted slightly, allowing him to steal a glance at the source of the shimmer. Over there! He yelled, pointing towards the glimmering object. Anna, Mr. Jenkins, look! The two of them turned, eyes wide. Go check it out! Anna urged, as she dodged another strike from the python. I'll keep it busy. With a surge of determination, Sam bolted towards the glint. Each step felt both heavy and electric, driven by a mix of urgency and adrenaline. As he drew closer, he realized it was a pair of old metal shears, rusted but still sharp. Perhaps they could be used to cut away the brush, or even to scare off the snake. He scooped them up, feeling their weight in his hand, and turned back to the others just in time to see Mr. Jenkins tumble back as the python lashed out. Mr. Jenkins! Sam shouted, his heart dropping, but Jenkins quickly rolled to his feet, face set with an unyielding resolve. I'm all right. He grunted. Just keep its attention. Okay, Sam muttered to himself, clutching the shears like a lifeline. The fierce glint of the metal reminded him of hope, the only thing strong enough to keep them from surrendering to fear. He raced back to his friends, his heart pounding as he called out with renewed vigor, I found something. As he reached the small triangle they had created around Pearl, the python lunged again, faster this time. Sam screamed, raising the shears defensively, aiming the sharp edges at the creature. Miraculously, the python hesitated, momentarily bewildered by the potential threat. Now! Mr. Jenkins shouted, taking advantage of the distraction. Together, they lunged toward it. Sam swung wildly, not precisely skilled, but driven. The shears clashed dangerously against the python's scales, making a horrible screeching sound that echoed through the field. The python recoiled again, hissing in fury. It was a desperate game, but Sam felt alive this was their shot. "Let us tire it out," Anna shouted, following up with swings from the rake. The air was thick with tension, but alongside it swelled a current of hope. Together, they pressed forward, unwilling to relent. Pearl, watching from behind, gave a low moo, and it sparked something within Sam. She had fought through a lot, endured everything thrown at her. If Pearl could summon the strength to stay alive, so could he. "Stay close, Pearl. We won. Let it win," Sam shouted, rallying his companions as they tried to surround the python once more. It coiled back on itself, trying to find an escape route, but they had taken control. But just as victory seemed within reach, the creature suddenly reared back, its dark eyes locking onto Sam. This was it, the moment of truth hung in the air like a storm cloud, the outcome uncertain. With the adrenaline coursing through him, Sam realized how deep the risks ran, not just for the fight against the python, but for everything he held dear. "Keep going," he yelled with newfound fervor, his heart pounding fiercely. "We can't give up now." As they pushed into the fray, the energy was electric. But just as they thought they had the upper hand, a strange noise echoed from the woods beyond the field, something that sent chills down Sam's spine. A low growl, deep and primal. What was lurking just beyond the trees? The growl was unlike anything Sam had ever heard. It rumbled through the ground, sending shivers up his spine. The python seemed to sense the change too, its attention splitting as it flicked its tongue in the air, tasting an unseen presence. Sam's grip tightened around the shears, heart racing. "Anna! Mr. Jenkins!" he shouted, desperation creeping into his voice. "We need to finish this now." Anna nodded, her determination unyielding despite the fear etched across her face. "On three!" she yelled. 1, 2, 3. They surged together, a united front. Sam swung the shears, slicing through the air with everything he had. The python hissed, recoiling again, darting back as if uncertain of its enemy's newfound strength. But that unsettling growl echoed once more, now louder. The familiar rustle of bushes accompanied it, a sign that something was approaching the clearing. Sam glanced to the side, half expecting to see another snake or perhaps wild deer. But what came into view was beyond anything he could have anticipated. A massive wolf, silver and muscular, emerged from the shadows. Its eyes glinted in the dim light, trained not on them, but right at the python. The creature paused, evaluating the scene before it. Fear rolled through Sam. Would it add to their peril, or be their salvation? "Focus!" Mr. Jenkins barked, snapping Sam back. The python, now aware of its newest opponent, readied itself to strike, body coiling in an intimidating arc. "Let us go," Anna shouted, directing their attention back to the snake. They pressed on, striking again with a flurry of combined swings. Sam felt exhilaration and terror blend into one. It was now or never. The wolf circled them, and suddenly, without warning, it lunged forward, jaws snapping. The python turned to confront this unexpected attacker. Sam watched in awe as the wolf and snake began their own deadly dance. Graceful yet fierce, the wolf dodged the snake's furious strikes. "Get away from Pearl!" Sam yelled, bolstered by newfound strength. The sight of this untamed hunter battling their enemy lit something inside him, a fire fueled by the drive to protect. Together, they pressed into the fight. With every pounce and strike, the wolf kept the python off balance. Sam felt the tide shifting. They were not alone in this fight. This creature, wild and powerful, was on their side, but the real belonging was within him. Sam's fear began to transform into courage. "We're not letting it win," he shouted, as he aimed another swing with the shears. He could feel the shared determination of Anna and Mr. Jenkins behind him. They were bonded now, fighting for something greater than themselves. Suddenly, the python lashed out, aiming for the wolf. Time slowed as Sam watched the scene unfold, clenching his teeth in anticipation. Would they be able to hold their ground? The wolf barely managed to dodge, nipping at the python's tail as it tried to twist away. The moment hung heavy, a collision of raw power and sheer will. A wave of resolve crashed over Sam. This moment was a reminder, they all had something worth fighting for. But as the wolf gained the upper hand, another movement flickered at the edge of the woods, shadows shifting like dark clouds. Was something else coming? What now? Sam wondered aloud, his heart thudding loudly as anxiety crept back in. What other creatures lurked in the darkness, waiting to be unleashed? The silver wolf danced around the python, its movements a mix of grace and instinct. Each lunge brought a roar of excitement from Sam, pushing him to fearlessly brandish the shears. The python, distracted and enraged, twisted and turned, its focus split between its foes. "Keep moving!" Anna shouted, her voice a beacon above the chaos. "We can't let it regroup." As if acknowledging her words, the wolf darted in, jaws flashing. Sam could hardly catch his breath, adrenaline coursing through his veins like wildfire. This was a battle for survival, not just for them, but for Pearl too. He could feel every muscle in his body straining, the shears feeling heavy in his hands as he swung them once more. In that moment, the ground beneath them trembled not just from the growling of the python, but from another presence. The atmosphere thickened, as if the earth itself held its breath. A deeper rustling came through the bushes, heavy footsteps stomping through the underbrush. Sam's instincts flared, fear piercing through the rush of battle. Peering over his shoulder, he caught sight of dark shapes moving. Panic enveloped him. "What now? We can't handle more," he stammered, his voice a mix of dread and disbelief. "Stay focused," Mr. Jenkins shouted, his eyes narrowed on the melee. "One fight at a time." But it was hard to stay focused on just one enemy. Just as Anna readied to swing again, two more wolves emerged from the shadows, their eyes fierce and determined. One was just as silver as the first, but the other was a deep, rusty red. With a shared growl, they bolted toward the python, joining the fray with a vigor that renewed Sam's spirit. The original wolf struggled to gain ground against the relentless snake, its teeth snapping at the python's slithering body while evading deadly strikes. Now, with more wolves joining the fight, the odds seemed to sway in their favor. The air pulsed with tension and ferocity, a mashup of fear and hope igniting within Sam. "Look!" he yelled, pointing his shears toward the additional wolves. "We have backup. Let us finish this." Anna rallied, fear igniting into fierce determination. Together, they steeled themselves, their trio of shears complementing the feral teamwork unfolding before their eyes. With a united front, the four wolves and the trio charged. Sam swung his shears with renewed energy, feeling the warmth of courage wash over him. The python hissed, spinning as if caught in a cyclone. But then, amid the chaos, the ground shook again, this time with heavier footsteps. The darkness of the woods began to shift ominously, and shadows loomed even larger. Sam strained his eyes, heart pounding harder. Had they awakened something worse? "Get back!" he cried, swinging his shears to keep the python at bay. He could feel the hairs on the back of his neck stand. It was becoming clear, whatever was coming would change everything. Please, he thought, a silent plea as fear gripped his heart. He had fought so hard, but could they survive whatever was now looming in the darkness? The air felt electric, and a sense of dawn was there, even amid the fearsome growls and battling forms. But the ominous feeling churned in Sam's gut. What emerged from the woods would test every ounce of their courage. The shadows coiled and twisted as the heavy footsteps drew closer, the sound echoing through the trees like a war drum vibrating in Sam's chest. He could almost see the dark shape shifting just out of sight, a monster silhouette against the dappled light of the clearing. A knot tightened in his stomach. This wasn't just a new threat, it felt as if the very forest was coming alive with unknown dangers. "Stay alert!" Mr. Jenkins yelled, pushing through the dense underbrush as he scanned the perimeter. The battle with the python was still raging, but now the atmosphere was thick with the promise of something far more deadly. The silver wolf lunged again, its teeth grazing the python and giving a sharp yelp of triumph. But before they could celebrate, a colossal figure stepped into view, a massive bear, its fur glistening in the scattered sunlight. It wasn't just any bear, Its eyes were full of ancient wisdom and ferocity. Sam. Move. Anna's voice cut through the rising chaos. The bear's growl was like thunder, and it didn't stop as it charged into the battle with a pledge of brute force, aiming directly at the python. With the combined might of the wolves and the now rampaging bear, the python was forced to flick its tail, trying to escape the mounting pressure. It was a fleeting success, allowing it to grapple onto a nearby tree, its coils wrapping around the trunk in a desperate bid for stability. "Together!" yelled Sam, desperation tinging his voice. They had to capitalize on this moment, they had to deliver a final blow. The bear swiped at the python, its massive paw striking just inches from the wolves, and the silver wolf dodged with practiced grace, guiding the others in a synchronized attack. As the bear roared, a sensation of desperate hope coursed through Sam. They were all in this together, beast and human alike. "Now!" Sam shouted. He and Anna charged forward while Mr. Jenkins brought his shears down hard, aiming for a vulnerable part of the snake's body. The wolf and bear pushed in tandem, forcing the python to lose its grip on the tree and fall back toward the ground. It crashed with a thud. Sam's heart raced, and in that moment, he felt a shimmering connection with the bear, a shared purpose beyond species. It was a call for unity, a rallying cry that transcended words, but just as victory seemed near, the python's eyes bulged, a chaotic fury igniting in its depths. It managed to strike at the bear, its fangs flashing dangerously close, yet the bear braced itself, unfaltering. This was not just a battle of strength, it was a test of will. "Don't back down," Sam urged his companions. He felt the warmth of adrenaline fueling his resolve, a strong yearning to protect. Every moment felt stretched, as if time had decided to play tricks on them. Yet, in that frantic energy, something new was happening, a flicker of understanding. As the bear continued to engage the python, the wolves flanked it from either side, forming a living wall of raw courage. Sam reached for Anna's hand, squeezing tightly, hoping to ground them both in this whirlwind of intensity. Then everything changed. Just beyond the trees, another figure emerged, taking slower, more measured steps. It was Pearl, weak but alive, her dark eyes filled with confusion and fear. "Pearl!" Sam gasped, breath hitching. As she stumbled forward, towards the chaos and danger unfolding, Sam felt a wave of dread crash over him. What if she stepped into the fray? What if the python turned its fury on her? There was no way they could let that happen. "Pearl, stay back!" Anna yelled, the urgency in her voice resonating through the trees. But Pearl didn't appear to hear. The spirit of the fight had awakened something in her. They had to protect her at all costs, but could they do that and defeat the python at the same time? The looming bear, the furious wolves, the twisted python, and Pearl's determined presence created a tempest of possibility. As the battle raged on, the outcome felt as precarious as a tightrope walker about to lose their balance. Would they be able to hold the line and keep Pearl safe, or was this confrontation about to take an even darker turn? Sam's heart raced, a tornado of fear and hope spiraling through him. Would they emerge victorious against the python and protect Pearl, or would they lose everything? A breath caught in his throat as he prepared for the next move. What would they face next in this life-or-death clash? The moment hung in the air like a thick fog, heavy with uncertainty. Sam's heart pounded louder than the bear's growl, cutting through the murmur of the forest around them. Pearl took a hesitant step forward, eyes locked on the writhing form of the python. Her determination clashed with the primal fear that seeped into Sam's bones. "Pearl, no!" His voice was urgent, but it felt small against the chaos unfolding. As the bear's massive body clashed with the python, fur flying and jaws snapping, Sam could feel the tension ripple through the air like a live wire. The silver wolf darted in and out, each movement fluid and precise, its instinct driving it forward, an unspoken bond with the other creatures rooting them together against a common foe. Yet, with Pearl so close, every attack felt fraught with danger. "Watch her!" Sam shouted over the tumult, feeling the desperate need to protect her drown out everything else. Anna's eyes darted back and forth, mirroring Sam's fear. But Pearl was already moving. Though her legs trembled, she gathered every ounce of strength to push through the underbrush. I have to help," she yelled, voice wavering but grounded in fierce intent. "No. You'll get hurt," Anna shouted, her voice cracking. Suddenly, the python unleashed a spine-chilling hiss, the sound slithering like ice down Sam's spine. With a quick flick of its tail, it was free from the grasp of the bear, twisting its long body in boiling rage. The bear roared, turning its focus fully on the hissing snake, while the silver wolf stood its ground, snarling fiercely. Sam could see the tension in the air, a living, breathing creature that threatened to consume them all. "Sam, we have to do something," Anna cried, her gaze shifting back to Pearl. "We can't let her go any closer." She was right. As much as Sam wanted to keep moving forward, victory now rested on two fronts, saving Pearl and taking down the python. They had to seize the moment. "Okay, on my count," Sam said, his voice steadying. "We need to create a diversion. Anna, get the bear's attention. I'll guide the wolf to cover Pearl. Let us do this." "Got it." Anna nodded, determination flashing in her eyes. As if sensing the gravity of their decisions, the wolf lingered, waiting for Sam's cue. Sam took a deep breath, feeling the pulse of the forest around them, all eyes on this impending fight for survival. "Now!" Sam shouted. Anna hurled a branch at the python, the makeshift projectile arcing through the air before striking its target. The creature coiled, momentarily distracted. The bear seized the opening, charging into the python with renewed fury, claws swiping as teeth clashed. "Go, go!" Sam urged, motioning to the silver wolf. They dashed toward Pearl, who stood frozen, visibly shaken but still standing strong. "Pearl, this way!" he called, extending an arm toward her as he urged her back, trying to shield her from the chaos. She hesitated but finally took a step back, her eyes flickering between the live battle and Sam's guiding hand. The python reacted, lunging towards Sam and Pearl in a final desperate attempt. Sam's heart raced. "Get back!" he yelled just as Anna's voice rang out again, attempting to capture the serpent's attention, but just as the python's weight shifted, ready to strike, the ground beneath it gave way, sending it crashing into a smaller ditch. Sam's breath caught in his throat. Could this be a chance? "Sam!" Anna's voice snapped him from his daze. "It's now or never." With fists clenched and fire in his heart, Sam lunged forward, adrenaline surging through him. Would this be the moment they turned the tide? Could they outsmart this ancient predator, and save Pearl in the process? As the python struggled to regain its footing, Sam prepared for the fight of their lives. There had to be a way to end this, once and for all, but just as he stepped closer, a shocking realization washed over him. What if the key to victory wasn't just brute force but understanding? What lay hidden within the bond of all creatures in the wood? The answer loomed just beyond the chaos. Would they find true strength together, or would the darkness consume them all? Sam's feet hit the ground hard as he sprinted toward the python, every heartbeat echoing with a blend of fear and hope. He couldn't afford to hesitate now. The bear was locked in a fierce battle with the serpent, swiping its enormous claws and roaring, but Sam knew they needed more than brute strength to win this encounter. "Stay close, Pearl!" he shouted, but a glance back made his heart lurch. She was still too close to the chaos, eyes wide with terror but also fierce determination. "Come on!" Anna kept urging the bear, throwing more branches to distract the python. Each time the branch hit, the bear charged, making the whole scene feel like an explosive ballet of instinct and survival. It was breathtaking, but Sam couldn't let off freeze him up. He turned his attention back to the silver wolf, who stood poised nearby. "We need to work together," Sam murmured, feeling a bond spark between them, a silent agreement to take action. With as much subtlety as he could muster, Sam waved his hand, signaling the wolf to follow. They moved in tandem, a fluid display of trust. As they approached Pearl, Sam's mind raced. He felt the weight of responsibility crushing down. If he could get her to safety, everything would change. "Pearl, come with me. Stay behind us," he called again. She hesitated, fear momentarily stealing her voice. But then she nodded, determination flickering back to life, and Sam felt a swell of hope. They moved back towards the tree line, just as another roar erupted. The bear had managed to land a blow, pushing the python towards the ditch again. This time, Sam saw its body coiling back, sensing the danger but not fully aware they were closing in. Now! Sam's voice cut through the noise. He reached a thick branch, managing to lift it just enough to gather his strength. With a deep breath, he threw the branch toward the python's head. It struck true, echoing in the forest like a gunshot. The python recoiled again, hissing furiously as it turned, attention caught on Sam's diversion. But even as it did, Sam saw the wolf charge forward, gracefully darting through the grass, its instincts guiding it. "Go, go!" Sam shouted, watching as the wolf jumped up and sank its teeth into the python's tail. For a moment, it seemed like everything hung in the balance. The bear, the wolf, and the python were locked in a climatic clash of survival. This was a chance. Sam felt the adrenaline surge again. It was now or never. He sprinted forward, ready to help the wolf bind the serpent. Pearl followed, her eyes wide, filled with a whirlwind of hope and fear. "Sam!" she called, panting as they reached an opening where the bear was grappling one side of the python. "What do we do?" "Keep moving. Stay behind the wolf," he yelled, now entirely focused on the task at hand. As they pressed into the chaos, something shifted in the air, a stillness that felt potent. The bear let out one last roar, and in that moment, Sam locked eyes with the wolf. They shared an understanding. This wasn't just a fight, it was about survival, about trust. "Pull together, we can do this," Sam shouted, a spark of unity igniting within him. Would the forest embrace their bond? Just as everything looked promising, the python, now enraged, came alive with a newfound fury. Its body twisted violently, its anger radiating like electric energy through the air. Sam recoiled momentarily, fear pulsing through him. "Get ready!" he shouted, but deep down, a lurking question troubled him. Could they truly find victory? Or was this mere desperation against a powerful force of nature? The next moment, the python lashed out, and time stretched thin. Would they survive this clash and emerge stronger? The truth loomed, ready to reveal itself. The world moved in slow motion as the python swung its massive body, its emerald scales glistening ominously. Sam felt every fiber of his being scream at him to run, but he stood his ground, heart pounding loudly in his chest. The bear was still locked in combat, muscles tense, and now the wolf was tumbling backward, shaken but unbroken. "Sam!" Pearl shouted, her voice slicing through the chaos, but he couldn't turn away. Not now. He watched as the bear snatched a mighty paw at the python, claws scraping against the scales. That distraction was their opening, and it was fading fast. The spirit of the forest seemed to hold its breath, waiting for the next move. "Go, wolf! Help the bear!" Sam commanded, pointing. The silver wolf, understanding the urgency, leaped back into action with a fierce howl. The energy of the moment surged through Sam, igniting a fire of determination. "Pearl, we need to do something," he called, searching for a way to rally their defenses. The girl's wide eyes, full of fear and resolve, glimmered in the daylight filtering through the trees. "Right," she shouted back, swallowing her fear and working to grab a thicker branch. He realized in that moment, she wasn't just following, she was becoming part of the struggle. With a nod, Sam seized another sturdy branch. Side by side, they stood, two unlikely warriors against the beast lurking near the fray. The python recoiled painfully from a blow delivered by the bear. Sam caught sight of its eyes, anger and intelligence swirling in a volatile mix. It was a predator cornered, and cornered animals fight fiercely. "Stay steady," Sam called out to Pearl, tightening his grip on the branch. The wolf fiercely tugged at the python's tail while the bear loomed over it, a guardian of the forest. In that moment, everything felt like a beautifully chaotic tapestry. The forest thrummed with the symphony of life and survival. With every sound, every rustle, the earth beneath them felt alive, watching and drawing them into its circle of existence. On the count of 3, we hit it together, Sam said, lowering his voice to keep it steady. Pearl nodded eagerly, bolstered by an unspoken bond that had woven them together in this fight. 1, 2, 3. They swung their branches down simultaneously, the force reverberating with a crack that mingled with the python's hissing shriek. The distraction caused enough confusion for the bear to wrest the upper hand, its sharp claws digging into the serpent's flank. "Keep going!" Sam shouted, and the adrenaline flooded his veins. They couldn't relent, not for a second. But just as they felt a glimmer of hope, the python's body thrashed violently, uncoiling like a spring. In one swift motion, it whipped around, aiming for the very two that dared to challenge it. Sam's heart raced in his throat. "Pearl, look out!" he cried, instinctively stepping in front of her. The sudden shift in momentum felt like being caught in a cyclone. Fear surged through him as the python lunged. In that heart-stopping moment, Sam braced himself, willing himself to protect what he held dear. The world narrowed down to a singular focus. The bear roared anew, the wolf darted, and Sam stood like a pillar, ready to confront the inevitable. Would they stand together and determine the course of their fate, or succumb to the primal dance of nature? In the distance, he could almost envision the dawn creeping into the scene, but there was no telling if they would live to see that light. The battleground transformed into a paradox of dread and hope, and he could only wonder, would this moment mark their defeat or their salvation? The clash grew fiercer, the cacophony of growls and hisses merging with an urgent rhythm that echoed through the very heart of the forest. Sam's heart raced as the snake lunged, snapping its jaw dangerously close to Pearl. "No!" he shouted, every ounce of protective instinct rising within him. He stepped in front of her, instinctively swinging his sturdy branch with all his might, but when he did, he saw the silver wolf dart in, rising like a streak of lightning, captivating the beast's attention. The python's fury was palpable, a coiled tempest poised to strike, but the wolf danced nimbly around it, testing its reflexes, diverting its attention just long enough. "Now!" Sam shouted, urgency etched into his voice. With recollected resolve, he and Pearl charged together, their two hearts beating as one. Courage swelled between them, and in that heartbeat, Pearl stepped forward. "Let us do this!" she shouted, a fire igniting in her eyes. They surged ahead, and Pearl managed to sidestep close enough to give a swift kick to the python, a definitive act of bravery that took even Sam by surprise. "That's it, girl!" he yelled, heart lifting as he saw her join this battle not as a bystander but as an essential part of their united front. The bear continued to attack, its body a hulking fortress, pressing against the serpent. The silver wolf now leapt onto the python's back, sinking its teeth into those glistening scales, drawing forth another furious hiss. With every strike and rallying cry, the energy of the group surged, 3 hearts beating in defiance against the ancient predator. "Let us finish this together!" Sam shouted, the words igniting a spark of hope. They exchanged knowing glances. The time for solo acts was over. "Stick to the sides!" Anna cried from a distance where she gathered more branches, her voice unwavering, full of determination. "We need room to maneuver." Every instinct roared within them, friends and animals entwined in a dance of survival. Sam could feel the plant life around them alive with encouragement, like an army of cheerleaders for their desperate cause. With one last push, Sam, Pearl, and the wolf leapt in unison. The bear roared again, a sound resonating through the trees as it delivered one final, cataclysmic swipe. The python, caught in the grip of its fury, thrashed wildly one more time, but now confusion and exhaustion were evident in its every move. Sam raised his branch high and landed a blow that echoed all throughout the clearing. "Now!" he roared, galvanizing their efforts. In a spectacular moment of unity, Anna threw her branches forward, the wolf snapped its jaws at the python's tail, the bear pushed from the front, and Sam and Pearl surged from behind. Then it happened. The python faltered, its body uncoiling in desperation, its emerald scales reflecting the moonlight as it tried to escape. But there was no escape left. With a final crash that sounded like the earth itself shattering, their determination collided with the might of the wild. The python, overwhelmed by the combined attack, slumped heavily to the ground, energy dissipated. The forest still fell silent, hearts collectively holding their breath in the aftermath of ferocity. "Is it over?" Sam gasped, stepping back, breathing hard as he steadied himself alongside Pearl. Relief flooded through him. The silver wolf stood proudly, eyes ablaze with the thrill of victory. The bear, panting heavily, took a step back, acknowledging the bond they had forged in this moment of survival. "Wow," Anna murmured, brushing her hair back, eyes wide with disbelief. "We did it." "Yes," Sam shouted, a laugh bursting forth as he looked around at his friends, a ragtag family forged out of struggle. Cities may build deeds, but here on this very land, they had accomplished something radiant together. It wasn't just about saving Pearl, it was about understanding community, love, the tight bonds that thrive when darkness looms. Pearl nudged Sam with her head, her gentle breath warm against him, a reassuring anchor. They had faced fear and emerged transformed. They were now more than just farmer and cow, they were symbols of hope. Together, Sam whispered, overwhelmed by gratitude, as if the light of dawn was pushing through the trees, casting new beginnings for them all. "Let us celebrate this victory." Anna cheered, her voice lifting, as their bond pulsed with resonance within every creature, the forest alive with energy. But at this moment, as they gathered together, side by side, Sam felt a deep swelling in his chest. Something profound was awakened in him. He had fought for what mattered, proving that strength lies in community and love, and a fierce pair of loyal friends. Together. Now, before we wrap this up, I need to ask you to show your support for these incredible stories. Subscribe immediately to the channel. Don't wait even one more second. You need to be part of our journey. Leave a like now to keep feeding the algorithm so we can keep delivering stories that inspire and transform. Comment your reactions and how you felt about the ending. It truly means a lot to hear from you. And share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to witness this amazing transformation. This is the moment to show your support because only true fans understand the significance of rallying for our channel. Let us keep this community thriving.